Hey sneakies, welcome back for some more Warframe on the PlayStation 4. In this episode, a few sneakies are going to help me tackle a Tower 1 mobile defense mission in the void. Before we get started, there was a nice little surprise in my inbox from the developers, so let's go take a quick look at that. So Warframe actually just hit its 1-year anniversary, which might be a little bit of a surprise to PlayStation 4 players, but it was out for several months on the PC before the PlayStation 4 even came out. And to celebrate that, the developers have released a secondary weapon for everybody completely for free, and there's even a weapon slot, and it even has a catalyst already built into it. And it's called the Dex Furus. Now, there is just a regular Furus already in the game, which is accessed by going into the research labs in a clan dojo, but it hasn't been available in a dual-wield form until now. And they also gave us this little message in our inboxes. We have come so far. Sneaky G. It has been one Earth cycle since I called the first Tenno to wake from cryostasis. Since that day, countless more have joined our fold. In that time, much has changed. As our enemies grew stronger, you mastered new warframes. When they plotted for power, you toppled tyrants. When they hunted you, you showed them what it meant to challenge the Tenno. To commemorate your accomplishments, I have crafted the Dex Furus. Master this weapon and use it with pride, Tenno. Your guide, the Lotus. And of course I have to use those in this game. I'll be trying to use them as much as possible. Anyways, the sneakies joining me will be the official AEC, who will be using Ember Prime, Gassim is Banshee, and Chris24KO will be Rhino Prime. Meanwhile, I'm using Oberon. Anyways, don't forget to click like if you enjoy this series. The more likes we get, the faster these videos keep pouring out. And also hit subscribe to become a sneaky today, that way we can easily continue to follow this series without missing another video ever again. Anyway, sneakies, I do hope you enjoy. Here we go. Infiltrated! Here we go, sneakies. So my question to you for this episode is, who is your favorite Warframe to use for mobile defense missions? Just leave me a comment down below. So I'm thinking Oberon's probably going to end up being one of my favorites because of his ability. Specifically one ability that we're going to look at when we get to the point. Anyways, if you're not familiar with mobile defense missions, pretty much what happens is at the beginning, next to the players will spawn a device called a data mass. One of you has to actually pick it up and carry it with you throughout the mission. The only downside of carrying it is you're only allowed to use your secondary weapon while it's in your hand. But you can actually drop it, of course, and then use your primary weapon if you need to. But you pretty much bring that data mass. Oh my goodness. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. You pretty much bring it with you, and you go to these computer terminals, and you have to install it into them, and then Lotus has to hack into them. There's going to be a set period of time that she needs to hack into it. Then you have to actually defend the terminal while enemies keep pouring in after you. Fortunately, on Tower 1 mobile defense, there's only one data terminal. So this should be fairly simple. Normally, there's 2 of them. And then after you defend both terminals, there would typically be a point where you defend something that's similar to a defense point. And then you eventually extract. But this is a little bit different than that. Anyways, we're also going to use these Dex Furus as much as possible here. They're obviously not going to be as effective as I would like them to be, because they're obviously not high enough rank yet. But let's see how effective they can be. Oh, this is terrible. These enemies are only ranked 10 and 11, but pretty embarrassing. Then again, you can't really compare level 1 to level 10. Because if my Warframe was only level 1 compared to level 10s, and I was just starting out, then I probably wouldn't be anywhere near as effective against them, period. Fortunately, I do have my Gorgon Wraith as my backup. Even though that thing's still low level, it can still tear through pretty much anything. That's to be expected, though. Okay, anyways, we're going to try out this ability here. This is a really good spot for it. So this is called Hollowed Ground. Pretty much what it does, it puts fire, essentially, on the ground. And it's really good if you know where enemies are going to be coming through. If you can actually find a point like that where they're going to be forced to come through this doorway. You lay that down, it's going to be dealing damage to them as they're running through it. It's just such a great ability. And it's going to be so much better after I can eventually upgrade it too. Make it more powerful. And I've seen some people actually lay it down and they were able to keep it going for the duration of the time that it takes Lotus to log in or hack into the terminal here. Well, maybe it wasn't exactly that amount of time, but they definitely got it to last a really long time. I was surprised when I originally saw somebody doing it. And I was definitely jealous, because back then when I saw that, I didn't even have Oberon yet, so I couldn't even come close to trying it out yet. Oh no, these things are going to run out of ammo very soon. Oh, look at that, we're already out. Okay, Gorgon Wraith time. I smite thee! Can't forget about our abilities either. I was more or less trying to showcase the weapons, but we definitely need to use the abilities as well. Gorgon Wraith is actually going to shine here because it really works well on huge groups of enemies like this. And then Renewal is a really cool ability Oberon has because it allows you to regenerate your health. It works for all your allies. And it's nice to have another healing ability. It's obviously not as good as Trinity's Blessing, but it's definitely a nice little backup plan to have. Oh, that's right. Don't mess with the Gorgon Wraith, pal. You don't stand a chance. And you don't stand a chance against my Ortho, so neither do you. Alright, anywho, we gotta get back to that point. Typically, you don't want to leave the point, but you can when it's this low of a level, and at least one person has to stand by to make sure it's safe. I'll mess these fools up really quick. Now, here's another cool thing to do. You lay this down right here too, and it helps defend the point especially, because when enemies run up there to go to attacking it, which, wow, I wasn't even expecting him to get up there that quickly. It really helps limit the amount of damage they can possibly do to it. And then we're going to lay one down here, because look at all those enemies. They have to come down the stairs, so it only makes sense to use it there. I love this hollowed ground ability way too much. It's one of my favorite abilities in the game. At least out of the Warframes I currently have. I still don't have a lot of the Warframes yet, so we're going to see how that changes after I start getting them. Which shouldn't be too much longer. I'll have all of them in no time. Then we'll only have to worry about, as they release the new ones, keeping up with them. Tear through them, Gorgon Wraith! Now, when you have a huge group of enemies that are just lined up like that, you can just hold down the Gorgon Wraith's trigger and then it's going to tear through everybody. Reckoning's really good too. That picks up all the enemies within range and it then smashes them down on the ground. And the great thing about it is it actually increases the chances of the enemy dropping health spheres. So it's another way to heal in a sense. Oh, look at that. Gorgon Wraith, level 4. This thing's tearing through everybody. Even these heavy gunners don't stand much of a chance, although it's not really as effective as I'd like it to be. I smite thee! That's right. Oh, and just for good measure, slamming down on him after he's dead. Oh, yes. Alright, so all of the time is run out for Lotus to hack into the terminal, so we're good to extract at this point. Now, you don't want to actually waste time killing all these enemies. This is the point where you just want to get to the extraction, get out of here as quickly as possible. No need to take any unnecessary chances, although the enemies are such a low level here, we really don't stand much of a chance of losing at this point anyway, regardless. But you still want to just get to the point to get out of here as quickly as possible. I mean, you can stick around a little bit in order to get some of the resources the enemies are going to drop. Oh, man! I assume they're eventually going to update the game to the point where you can't actually go through the lasers, period. But I have to say, I like the way it's working right now, because I would have been completely demolished at that point. Anyways, oh, gas team got disconnected. Damn it. Well, that's really bad timing. We were almost to the extraction point. Now his stats aren't going to be taken into consideration. That's alright, though. You can be another video later, don't worry. Anyways, let's get out of here. Got some more ammo for the decks first again, so we're going to use it a little bit more if we can. See if I can get this enemy. Nah, never mind. It's not worth it. It was his lucky day. He's going to get to live another day. At least until I come back later on. Same to you, Heavy Gunner. Coming for you, too, later. Alright, so this is the extraction point. And mission complete. We got a Boar Prime blueprint. Nice. I think I already had that, though, so... not really that nice, unfortunately. We did get the 10,000 credits, so that's pretty nice. And then we're going to take a quick look at the stats before we get out of here and go to the outro. Alright, so damage dealt goes to the official AAC. Damage taken, least damage taken that is, Chris 24 KO. Total kills, official AEC. Headshots, nobody. Wow, that's surprising. Melee kills, wow, oh, I took that. Nice. Deaths is all tied up. Upgrades received, oh yes. I tied with Chris 24 KO and with 3, not bad. Abilities used goes to official AEC as well as fire accuracy. However, I came in with the pickup count and then nobody had any revives. So I'd have to say the official AEC was the MVP of that episode. Anyway, Sneakies, I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and you want to continue to see more in this series. The more likes we get, the faster these videos keep pouring out. And also hit subscribe to become a Sneaky today. That way you can easily continue to follow this series without ever missing another episode again. Now, I'm always looking for people to play in these videos, so if you are interested in appearing in any of them, just leave me a comment below. And also add me on PSN. You can see my username right in the top left-hand corner of the screen right now. And if you're looking for people to play Warframe with in general, feel free to use the comment section on any of the videos in this series to find people. It's a pretty good resource for doing so. Anyway, Sneakies, I will see you next time for some more Warframe on the PlayStation 4.